This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
Place to Be Pop Experience. Welcome back to another episode of Pop Goes Degrassi, where tonight we are going to be covering Season 2, Episode 3, Girls Just Wanna Have Fun, and Episode 4 for Karma Chameleon of Degrassi Next Generation. We are in the Next Generation era of Degrassi episodes, and we've been introduced to a lot of new characters, and we've been introduced to like one new character, but more new characters are going to be coming along as we go through tonight's 2 episodes here. But as always, let me bring in my co-host, Mr. John Kesselika. John, how are you doing tonight?
Grooney, I'm doing great. You know, spring has sprung here in Hanoi and across the world, I think, as we get entering into this season of renewal, rebirth. And here on Degrassi, in our 2 episodes, we have, like you mentioned, the emergence and rebirth of several new characters into the world of Degrassi Community School. We're going to see a lot of great engagements around characters today, and even one character trying to reclaim a position that she had in our previous season. So I'm excited to get to it with you.
Yeah, and we're also going to rehash what was a really good friendship into a relationship here, as well as the adults are some adults are getting back in the groove of things as well. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So this is episode 3. Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Emma is working on an assignment when her mom walks in with a bowl of popcorn. Emma says she really can't eat. She has to do this assignment. So then Emma's mom's like, well, I need to tell you something. And she tells her that her and Mr. Simpson are dating. Emma is shocked, but, she's like, oh, okay, like, I don't know what to feel about this, but thanks for letting me know. And Emma's mom's like, well, are you sure you're okay with this? I was like, yeah, I guess so, but we'll have to see where that goes. Funny way to start off the episode, just dropping a bombshell like that.
Oh yeah, we get the nice stinger at the end, right into the credits of where Emma is just shouting like, "Mom, like how could you do this to her with Mr. Simpson?" I think it's what was Spike gonna do? Like at some point you got to break it to your daughter or introduce this idea that, hey, we are friends and now we're dating. I guess during homework is probably one of the best times to do so. But I thought, she had a pretty pleasant approach to this. And Emma is, and I think we'll see it throughout this episode, kind of taking on that same Emma characteristic of things are about me, and automatically turned off to this idea of her mom, dating her teacher.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting tale between these two. Emma is in the hallway with Manny, and she tells Manny that her mom is dating Simpson. Manny's shocked as well. Emma then asks Manny to keep it quiet. She doesn't want everybody to know that her mom is dating a teacher, and it's Mr. Simpson. Jimmy and Spinner are going to enter a breakdance contest for Toronto Maple Leafs tickets. They're all talking in the hall. It's Jimmy, Spinner, and Paige. When they see a new kid that is in their class named Marco, who is now breakdancing in the hallways too, Paige then says, well, they can always buy tickets since Marco is probably going to win this contest with their dance move. So we don't know if Marco's a new kid or it's just like they've been like friends with him in their time growing up, and now all of a sudden Marco is appearing in this, John.
Right. Marco seems like a well-known factor, as they all kind of see him dancing. They're like, oh yeah, Marco's going to be the one to beat. And Paige is definitely unimpressed with Spinner's side of approach to breakdancing and doesn't think he'll be able to contribute much to this team, has them already kind of thinking it through, and you can see some divide here coming. I'm not sure so much about the efforts in wanting to win a breakdancing contest here in grade 9. I do remember that I found a instructional breakdancing home video at our local video store, and did try to give it a shot, Rooney, but I mean, I was probably more along the lines of what we'll see from Spinner and Jimmy rather than the expertise of Marco here.
Yep. So we'll have to see how this one goes. By the way, so it's a 2:30 dance for the
juniors. Yeah, I caught that myself when I was watching. I was like, there's an afternoon, and that was for the younger class, for the junior high school kids. So Emma and Manny and all of them are still juniors, whereas the grade 9s, who we know, get the evening dance.
Yeah, I didn't know why they said it was juniors and senior class. I was like, I guess the way you put it, I was like, they're 8th graders and freshmen. But the way you put it, it seems like, senior high school is 9 through 12 and junior high is 6 through 8. So yeah, I get that.
So yeah, it's relegated to the afternoon dance. It's like the afternoon trick-or-treaters and stuff that you would, the youngsters, as opposed to being able to go to the cool kid one later at night. And I mean, at this one, you get Mr. Simpson DJing, whereas in the evening you get Mad Dog and Billy.
Yeah. Spinner starts to do the robot, and Jimmy is like, dude, no, stop. Like, this is embarrassing. Paige then tells Jimmy to go solo in order to win. And then Manny asks Emma, like, what changed, and Emma says that her mom and Mr. Simpson knew each other in high school and had a thing, and now it's just coming back, like, all their feelings.
Yep, I liked their reasoning through here, and they were, definitely, Manny wasn't immediately dismissive of Mr. Simpson, saying, hey, he is a cute guy, and they're like, but he's so old, but he's tall, and they're fine, and he's funny. They're finding the things that are good to see about him, and that it's good for Emma's mom to be happy. It seems to, like, maybe there could be, some reconciliation about this, but of course, Snake, just this over I guess, how could I put it, imposing figure, like, has to, interject himself even into their conversations and whatnot. And just the second we feel like Emma might be coming around to him, he just finds something to annoy her again.
Yep. And then Mr. Simpson pulls Emma aside. Emma says she is fine, but Mr. Simpson asks, hold on. Sorry about that. She asks if she is unhappy about this, but she says no. They run into Craig and Sean. Craig asks if Emma is going to the dance tonight, but again, it's only for the senior high school students and not the juniors. Even Sean's like, yeah, tell me about it, because Sean is held back a year as well, so he is he's in the junior high school class too. So I wonder how Craig got into the senior class of freshmen here.
I mean, he is, like, he transferred in at that, this year, so I guess he's always just been that year older, or he's the same age as Sean,
Yeah. Because, I mean, Sean, I guess, leaves, so he gets held back and stuff, too. So, we'll see. I was, wondering, I wonder how Craig just transferred in. But I guess if it's his first time in Degrassi, then goes by the birthday,
Right. Well, and, I mean, we got to imagine Sean probably missed some school in Wasaga, after deafening a kid. So, there's that as well.
Yeah, and then Manny says that Craig likes her, so Emma's getting a little, all the butterflies in, her stomach, oh, really, you think so? And Manny's like, yeah, I know so, I really think Craig likes you. Jimmy is trying to convince Spinner that he shouldn't dance and leave it and leave the dancing to Jimmy. Spinner thinks Jimmy is jealous of his moves, but Jimmy says he is bad. Then Spinner claims that Jimmy is being racist because Spinner thinks that, oh, because I'm white, I can't dance. And Jimmy's like, that's not at all the problem here. So, trouble in paradise with Jimmy and Spinner.
I loved this scene between the two of them. I loved the misunderstanding. I love that Jimmy came to him first with a Toronto Maple Leafs analogy to just showcase the Canadianness of all of this. Hey, when the Leafs are working together, they do so as a team. But here it's more about individuals. Yeah, and he like in Spinner at one point mentions a polar bear. So now Spinner turns it around and does the hilarious, oh, this is because I'm white. I get it. Completely missing the point, but driving the wedge between them that we're going to see launch the competition for later tonight at the dance.
Yeah, so now it's on between Spinner, Jimmy, and Marco. Shenanigans are to ensue, John.
Somebody's got to get those Maple Leafs tickets, Gurney.
Yep. Now we're in the middle school or the cafeteria, and we're at the middle school dance. Manny and Emma walk in, and they see JT and Toby. They're in outfits, and then Liberty's also in outfit. And then Mr. Simpson plays the Zit Remedy song. Emma
Emma obviously rolls her eyes. How many times does she have to hear the Zit Remedy song? Although I'm a little surprised that Spike would be so nostalgic for the Zit Remedy that she plays it around the house that often. But I guess maybe if Snake is hanging around, Mr. Simpson's hanging around, she is hearing it more. Boy, do they love to reference the Zit Remedy. And this is one of Degrassi, even Next Generation's favorite things to do is let's do what we can to bring up the old Degrassi, and we'll remind you of the Zit Remedy here. I think it takes until probably season 5 or 6 before we get rid of the callbacks to the old show. They're really still heavy in these first 2 seasons. Yeah,
especially with the Zit Remedies. And then it's not until I would say Craig starts his first band with Spinner and Marco that we finally are trying to pull away, even though Joey's like, oh man, you guys rock. I can help you guys out and stuff. Yeah. So again, we're still not done yet with the whole growing up,
Yep.
So, like you said, Emma cannot stand this song. I feel like Spike must have played the song so many times to Emma as a kid. Yeah. And she's like, I'm leaving. And this dance is lame to begin with. I don't even know why. I'd want to go home too if I was at a dance at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Oh yeah, and you've got Toby and JT dressing up in their 80s gear, but nobody else is. It looks like there's maybe 15 people at this dance in general. Absolutely, head home, Emma. Head home, Manny. And
I think they called theirs the future dance or the past dance or something, because the 80s dance is tonight as it's the freshmen or the high schoolers. Yeah. But yeah, decades. And this episode is just a bunch of one-offs, and then the characters just leave. They're done for the episode.
Yep. Yeah, that's Toby and JT show up, have their hey, we've got a couple lines and show us in our costumes, and then that's it. That was a quick wrap for them that day.
Yeah, Liberty, same with Liberty too. She had one line and was like, "Oh, see ya." Emma and Manny then leave the dance and they go to Emma's house where they are planning their girls' night in, but Spike is going on a date to an Elvis Costello concert with Mr. Simpson.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, listen, I'm an Elvis Costello fan. I can't blame her for wanting to go to this. It sounds like Mr. Simpson lucked into some tickets at the last minute. But boy, bailing on girls' night, just when, things are just snowballing on Emma, when she's looking for any support or anything to go away, now her mom is going to bail on her for Elvis Costello and it's with Mr. Simpson. Whew. Tough time.
Spoiler, it doesn't get better for Emma as well. Emma then decides that her and Manny are going to crash the dance tonight. Emma dresses up as her mom, or who'd you say she was? Cyndi Lauper?
Cyndi Lauper. She keeps saying it's Cyndi Lauper. It's clearly an homage to the Spike character from Degrassi Junior High, as she looks exactly the same. I'm not sure I would make the stretch for Cyndi Lauper, but I could see Emma wanting to not be associated immediately with her mom like that. So okay, I'll buy it, Emma.
I hope that no one had a picture of like Emma's mom, like, oh my God, you look exactly like your mom.
Well, I mean, another reason to avoid, seeing Mr. Radich, who would obviously recognize the character from.
Oh yeah.
Listen, I don't know about you, Gurney, but I thought this scene between Emma and Manny when they're getting ready and they're so excited for going out was one of my favorites today. There's such a youthful energy to it, and it reminded you of these characters that they are so young and like open-minded and such kind of excited about life and everything, and how that kind of boy crazy focus they can have as they were like, we're gonna have such a fun night, and then she's like, no, we're going to see Craig. It's what they're so thrilled for. It was really a great kind of grounding of the character to remind us, because Emma can be so overwhelmingly dour and serious about stuff and whining about stuff at times. To get her in this carefree moment was really refreshing.
Yeah, I kind of felt like it was a callback to Brenda and Kelly on Beverly Hills 90210 when the whole Dylan saga, and now it's like the friendship's over. So we have to see what's going to happen with, Manny and Emma's friendship as when we get to the end of this episode here.
Good.
And then and Manny looks like I thought I took a guess and said she was looking like Molly Ringwald from Pretty in Pink.
You went with Molly Ringwald, Pretty in Pink. I would say she was doing the Valley Girl, which is why Craig calls her out as Valley Girl. But I guess not. I would go more with Molly Ringwald from Pretty in Pink. Yeah, I would say so.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Craig is getting ready for the dance. Joey asks who he's supposed to be, and Craig says Sid Vicious from the Sex Pistols. Joey has no idea who that is, apparently. Joey then shows Craig his hat, or fedora hat, and Craig doesn't think it's cool, but he takes it anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Another callback to the Zit Remedy and to, Joey Jeremiah as a character on Degrassi having the ever-present fedora. Our calendar's a little off with Craig here, as Sid Vicious died in 1979, but that's okay. We'll go with it.
Okay. Emma and Manny are trying to get into the dance, but Mr. Radich is watching the doors. Paige and Hazel are outside, and Ashley and Terry try to talk to him, but Paige blows off Ashley and Terry right away. Craig sneaks Manny and Emma in, and then Spinner is practicing his dance moves when someone switches his CD. Meanwhile, Jimmy is in a Michael Jackson outfit and is practicing his dance moves as well. So a lot going on here, as Emma and Manny are trying to sneak in without getting caught. Paige and Ashley still having their tiff from season 1, as Paige just blows off Ashley and Terry. I mean, why blow off Terry? She's just the middle person here.
We'll see. Yeah, Terry is definitely in this kind of caught between with Paige and Ashley, in the great hag off of 2003 or whatever year this was out. But I think, like you said earlier, we had a lot of kind of just drop-ins from characters. I liked that this was it. This was all we saw from Ashley and Terry. Was just here's a reminder that tensions are still rough between Paige and Ashley. Ashley is still looking to kind of reingratiate herself to that group of friends, and hasn't been able to. So here she is at a dance. Even then, bygones can't be bygones. Hags are still hags. So, get lost, Terry. Get lost, Ashley. And Terry kind of the collateral damage with that.
Yep. So then Craig opens up the door for Emma. Manny, Spinner, and Jimmy are trash talking each other. Jimmy puts down his bag and Spinner steals it. The bag had Jimmy's clothes.
Exactly, so because Jimmy, in his costume for Michael Jackson, is wearing some exceptionally tight pants. Needs something looser to breakdance in, but Spinner, noticing that he let his guard down, grabs the bag to make sure Jimmy won't have that for the competition.
Yeah.
And then we've got the kind of like, kind of gang here of Craig, Emma, and Manny coming together, and they're trying to sneak the girls into the dance so they can have fun. So nice to see Craig kind of partnered up with them. He's been a member of that group in a way, like with those two girls since his entry, maybe because he knew Emma from years ago, and they're like his kind of so-called parent with Joey and Emma's mom are friends, obviously, so they'll be interacting. But good to see he's trying to play along with their mischief and help them get in here.
Yeah, I always thought that Craig was like the wild card who was never really a part of a group here, as he's always like with he's either with Emma and Manny or he's with Sean. I mean, that's gonna all change pretty soon. I mean, not early, but we'll see him with like Jimmy and Spinner and Marco and like a couple others in a couple more episodes too. It's like whose side are you on? Yep. So then we have this big breakdance contest going on. Jimmy is up first, but doesn't have his clothes. Jimmy then starts to dance, but he rips his pants. So that's it for Jimmy, as he gets embarrassed with his ripped pants. Then Spinner is up, but he has the wrong music, and the DJ's like,
classical, sad, sappy music. Yeah. But our host James, Mad Dog, and Billy are there to cheer him on and say, "Come on, dance!" and gets everybody going. But Spinner doesn't even bother. I mean, tried busting a move even to the slow songs there. Spinner, we got Maple Leafs tickets on the line here.
Craig sees Manny and Emma dancing when Craig all of a sudden he asks Manny to dance. And that leaves both girls shocked. Manny accepts, and Emma's tells her to dance, and Emma just leaves. So really a big shocker here, as Craig did not have feelings for Emma. He had feelings for Manny.
Yep, little switcheroo on there, and that's a nice play by the writers here to kind of lead us along on the way. And obviously, Manny and Emma have Emma's hopes up after everything that has been kind of going wrong in her life with her mom, Mr. Simpson, finding something good here with, maybe falling for Craig. She's moving on past Sean, but smack, looks like he was looking past her and looking at loving Manny the whole time.
Yeah, so we're going to have to keep an eye on the friendship between Manny and Emma, and if Craig is going to really tear into that relationship, because we've seen that their relationship get a little scruffed up and ripped here because of what Emma's views are and what Manny's views were on the spirit squad here.
I was going to say, cheerleading was their first kind of riff where they didn't see eye to eye. Manny wanted to do things for herself, and now we have, I don't know, will this be another challenge for their relationship?
Yeah,
we'd be remiss to not shout out Mad Dog and Billy for their appearance here. An actual DJ team that they, were able to bring in from the Toronto area at the time.
They were local, and they were like, yeah, well, they probably knew Stephen Brogan from back in the day. He was like, yeah, sure, man, we'll help you out.
Did a little research on here. It seems that Billy, unfortunately, was fired in some controversy in 2011. So maybe Billy, too hot for the Toronto airwaves at the time, and has and as many do, it seems that she's found a new home on the air in Palm Beach area, Florida. Of course, on a Wellington station down there, where Billy now hosts the show. So, hey, good to hear that we can tune in to listen to Billy and Friends next time I go to visit my parents down in West Palm. I will try to give you a shout and let you know how she's holding up down there.
Gotcha. Remember that time you were DJing on that Degrassi episode? Remember that time Drake ripped his pants?
Absolutely. You were there with superstars. So they'll do this on occasion, and we've seen last season you said, we had Dr. Sally, another Canada celebrity on the show. So here we have our minor, Toronto DJs. I guess they were probably a morning zoo type show or something you might have imagined. So
Elvis Duran, the morning show.
Yep.
Emma goes home and sees Mr. Simpson and Spike making out, and she runs into her room. Spike's like, Emma, you're supposed to be in bed. And Emma goes, yeah, shouldn't you be in bed too? And Spike was not having it. She's like, that's so rude. I'm your mother, blah, blah, blah.
She runs upstairs. Hey, Grudy, how far do we think Emma lives from the school? This is the second or third time we've seen her. It seems like she just turns a corner and she's at home.
It's a block away. I'm pretty sure. You can see Mr. Simpson. You can see her house from the school roof. I think I feel like I've seen it a couple of times where it's very visible.
Yeah, I mean it just seems that she gets home pretty quickly there. So I thought about that. We've definitely had a couple times where she's it feels like just turning a corner and you're at the porch.
Yep. Jimmy and Spinner argue about both of their shenanigans and sabotaging each other. And Marco walks by with the tickets, and he's got 3 ladies with him. So the ladies love Marco, John.
I loved it. He said he's got the tickets, he's got the girls, he's got, definitely, yeah. Marco working game on his first appearance here, walking away with some Maple Leafs tickets and some arm candy.
Yeah, little do you know what direction Marco's character goes in.
He's got to go home for his pasta sauce, maybe. His mom's pasta sauce.
I'll give you the pasta sauce from my mom. Emma and Spike are in Emma's room. Spike says it's none of Emma's business who she makes out with and who she dates, but Emma says she doesn't have anyone else at this time. And Spike says that Emma will always be the most important person in her life. So Emma's like, you don't need anybody else. You have me. This is more of just Emma who feels like she has nothing now. Her best friend is just going out with the guy who she liked and who Manny thought liked her back, but it's the other way around. And now Emma just feels like she's all alone now, which isn't really true because we don't know what's going to happen with Manny now.
Right. Yeah, we're not really sure. We're left wondering at the end of this episode here. And, I mean, it's a nice reconciliation with her mother here, but, again, a lot of just kind of Emma looking out for wanting things for herself here and feeling like the world is working against her. But a touching moment. Always good to see Spike get some good parenting in. I think she's kind of underrated as far as the characters go. As a parent, we see so many examples of kind of like shitty parents throughout these shows, as we did last episode. To forget that there are some good parents here.
Oh yeah, forget Albert.
Yeah.
So then Emma then tells Spike about Craig and Manny, and Spike's like, "I'm sorry that this happened. Like, this shouldn't come between you guys and stuff." And then she asks like if Emma is okay with her dating Mr. Simpson, and she goes, "I'm really unsure." So we leave in the dark here as Emma is unsure if everything is okay. And we're going to leave in the dark again in the next episode as well, John. So 2 cloudy endings here.
Yeah, and I like that she's unsure. Like, she's unsure about a lot. She could be saying she's unsure about, I know she's answering to the Mr. Simpson thing. She's unsure about that, but she's also unsure about, probably a bit about her friendship with Manny. How is this going to change if Manny ends up dating Craig? What will that do for their dynamic? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, John, who did you think was the MVP of this episode?
All right. So there was a good amount of hemming and hawing over this. And, Emma obviously dominating the main storylines here. There was, for the longest time, she was holding the MVP for me here. Even though I find her kind of obnoxious and feel like she's like overreacting to stuff at times. But thankfully, on another rewatch, I realized the true MVP here and the true impact player was Marco. Marco with a silent but absolutely impactful debut. No lines spoken, but, looms as a threat immediately when he's there. He inspires, like the break between Spinner and Jimmy without having to do a thing. And then, as we saw, he wins the competition. He gets the tickets, gets the girls. This is, boom, a character who takes Degrassi and takes our show like by storm. And we're thankfully going to see a lot more of him coming up. But yeah, it's surprising that he gets no lines here. Feels like what might be. I even thought like on my past rewatches, I was like, was that a different actor they had for the Marco in this episode? And then they figured out who it was going to be once they had him speaking and actually with people. But no, looking at it, it's the same guy. And yeah, Marco the breakdancer. He never breaks out his breakdancing skills again through his run on Degrassi, but it was enough to win him MVP for me.
All right, I'll go with you. I mean, yeah, just got to go with those dancing skills. And Marco just steals the show without even having one line, like you said. I thought that the first time I watched this, I was like, did he have sunglasses on? No one knew who he was. Like, I just thought he was like unrecognizable. It's like, oh, it's Marco. It's like, yeah, peace out, guys. Later. I didn't know it was the same actor too. So yeah, your LVP, John.
All right. So LVP, after thinking of Emma as MVP, I was like, wow, maybe I could slot her to LVP because she's kind of like moping through the episode and all that. But no, I think the LVP here is I'm going to give it to Spinner as the man who sparks the back and forth, kind of controversy or kind of pranking and sabotaging of the breakdancing. He's the one who kind of starts initiates the breakup between them. I know Jimmy mentions it, but it's Spinner who drives the wedge further and separates them, and he does it all out of kind of jealousy and whatnot. And for that matter, he's my LVP here. It was tough to find. I could have gone, like I said, could have gone Emma, but I'll go with Spinner because it figured I'd keep him in that B plot. My LVP here. If Marco won it, then Spinner walking away empty-handed is the LVP. All from his own doing. So again, his kind of like scheming that we've seen over the first couple seasons. This is another way that he's messed himself up.
Yeah, I mean, if if he would have just accepted that he can't dance and that Jimmy was right, everything would have been A-okay, because Jimmy would have at least had a better shot at winning the contest. Plus, there were 2 tickets in there, so
Yeah, he
Jimmy
would have
and
brought
Spinner
him
could
to
have
the
gone
game.
together. Yeah,
Absolutely. He would have been his +1 to the game, right?
Yeah, they were center ice tickets, bro.
I don't know. Unless he's bringing the pizza man.
Antonio.
Maybe Antonio's getting the ticket. Hey, thanks for all those pepperonis, you know.
Alrighty, let's deep dive into our next episode. This is episode 4, Karma Chameleon. Paige
Our indie
Hazel.
song titles continue, and we had Girls Just Wanna Have Fun, and then Karma Chameleon.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Yep, you're right. Paige, Hazel, Jimmy, and Spinner are walking into the school. Paige is talking about her roller skating party. Ashley says that sounds like fun, but Paige says she wants her, like, it sounds like fun. You don't have to invite me. But Paige is like, no, you know what? Maybe I do want you to come, so she can take drugs and make a fool out of herself again. So Paige is like, no, you can definitely come again. You know, I want to see you do drugs and make a fool out of yourself again.
Ouch. Tough. And we get real. Ashley gets kind of hammered on at the beginning of this episode, and we can see her kind of like fight out of it. But yeah, here is tough. We can see that the lingering, resentment from a party at her house last year where, one tab of ecstasy, and all of a sudden she's dancing, hooking up with Sean, and, having all kinds of problems with her friends.
Yep. And then, we get the opening credits, and then Ashley says it was just one mistake, but Terry's like, it was a huge mistake, Ashley, and she just wants her friends back. Paige asks Ellie if she can switch seats with Hazel, but Ellie just completely ignores her. Ashley walks in and tries to apologize to Paige as well. So we get our first glimpse of Ellie, John.
Yeah, good, quick debut for her hero. She does come back throughout the episode, but Ellie Nash, played by Stacey Farber, one of the characters who will really come a long way and stick with us through several seasons. Even we get to follow her into college, so really kind of makes a lasting impact here. Fan favorite, one of my favorite characters throughout the whole time, and really just has that attitude right away of she's not going to be just go along with the mean girls or the popular girls with Paige here. And as she says, oh yeah, so you and Hazel want to sit together, right? And she says, yeah, I knew you'd understand, but doesn't budge. And Paige is all up in arms because she doesn't understand why somebody wouldn't do what she's requested, and is forced to now sit with Ellie instead. So welcome aboard, Ellie. The big teased out hair will come down a bit over time. Will lose a bit of the goth look, but a great character, and fun to see her debut, get her interacting with the main characters right away.
Yeah, we see Toby. He's in the hallway talking to JT about anime, but JT totally blows him off. Emma and Manny go talk to Craig, and then Spinner and Jimmy are staring at Miss Hatzilakos in science class or chemistry. When she asks Spinner a question, he's like, I don't know the answer. So he goes, all right, well, just remember so she goes, well, just remember the first 20 elements are due by Friday, blah, blah, blah. And then Ashley then apologizes to Jimmy for embarrassing him. She reveals that she has been in counseling over the summer for one ecstasy pill, and then Jimmy actually reveals that he missed Ashley as well. So we're trying to get a little reconciliation here between Jimmy and Ashley, but Spinner is not buying it either.
Wow, yeah, I loved this. I loved the mention the scene between Jimmy and Ashley here, where he's like, you acted like it was nothing, and she's like, no, it was, and I love that she hits him with, I spent the summer in counseling, and they cut back to Jimmy. And he has this reaction on his face, the look, he kind of like slumps against the wall, like, oh my God, counseling? Like, really? Like, this is such a heavy blow. He can't believe it. Wow, what Ashley had to go through. But they're kind of rekindling here towards the idea. She's like, oh, Toby kind of misses you at the house. And he's like, well, maybe I should come visit to see Toby. Obviously, between Ashley and Ashley, with the attempts to apologize to Paige, still hurting. She's like, I believe was a hag you called me.
Mm-hmm.
If I was called a hag, I guess I would still remind people of it as much as possible. So I like that we're 4 episodes into the second season, and we're still hearing about that one insult.
Yep. We're in the hallway now, and Paige doesn't buy Ashley's act at all. She thinks it's just an act, just to get him back into the good graces of her friends. Jimmy says that they had a good talk. Hazel thinks that Paige is threatened by Ashley, and that she needs to just let it go.
Yeah, Hazel with some real lines here, and not just playing along with Paige, which has been the limitations of her character we've seen so far. To see Hazel kind of saying, no, people change, and she did say she's sorry. Hazel is trying to like play the good cop here, and like not have them all just disown Ashley as much as Paige seems to want them to.
Yep. And then we're in the cafeteria. Sean pays for Ashley's milk, and they talk about what happened at her house. They decide they will remain friends, but that's it, as Ashley wants to try and get back with Jimmy here.
Yeah, there's again, just Ashley, we started the episode with her getting just like, beaten on and still feeling these like negative energy from everybody. And she's here trying to make amends and actually opening that line of dialogue between Sean. As she says, like, are we going to just walk around and pretend nothing happened and ignore each other? And, he said, no, she says, like, we've paid for it enough. Like, we're okay and we're good people. And Sean says, yeah, and they could be friends. So things definitely, like, Ashley taking some action here and being proactive and making changes to improve things for herself. So we like to see that.
Yeah. Oh crap. I skipped over an important part, John. My bad. Toby asked Mr. Simpson for an anime CD, but he already lent it to Kendra Mason. Kendra says meet her at lunch and she will give him the CD. When smiling about it, he walks into a door. So that was actually before Paige was in buying the act. My bad. That's going to become a serious little plot here as well in the episode. I'm surprised that I guess Toby was so flabbergasted he didn't even know what the last name Mr. Simpson said.
Well, that came, and that scene comes right after he and JT are, again, talking with Emma and Manny, and watch Emma and Manny run off to Craig, and they're like, that's what girls are interested in. And Toby thinks he's going to be the world's only Jewish monk. And they hit us in this episode. They hit us a couple times, especially around Toby, with some music cues, and they play this like almost like monk's chant behind him as he says that, which was a nice touch. But yeah, sure enough, he goes and meets Kendra Mason. Doesn't put 2 and 2 together. I don't think I didn't immediately either when introduced, as we see this, short-haired Asian girl spin around in her chair, excitedly say, meet me at lunch, Toby, and I'll hand off the anime DVD.
Yeah. Ashley tries to sneak into Miss Kwan's class, but is caught. And she's like, I don't expect this from you, Ashley, trying to sneak into my class. Own up that you were late. And she's like, I'm sorry. Paige makes a remark, and Ashley laughs at it.
Oh no, not just any remark, Rooney. But she says that they should hang a bell around Kwan's neck because she's a total cow.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So Paige's insults include cow, hag, and cow is what we know from our lead mean girl here. And Ashley here in Miss Kwan's class, the last we saw of the two of them, I think Kwan gave Ashley the greatest student of all time award, right? At the end of last year. Mm-hmm, so how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, as Ashley's world is crumbling and she's trying to find a way out. Ashley's trying on outfits with Terry when Sean calls her and asks if she wants to go to a movie with him. Ashley says yes. Terry asks, what about Jimmy? And Ashley says she's not dating anyone. So when Terry, you'll understand when you find someone too. And again, Ashley is just attacking Terry for not having a boyfriend when she knows that Terry is insecure about herself.
Yep. Probably one of the more famous Ashley inadvertent insults that comes up here. Gurney, you just referenced it. She says, after Terry saying, I don't know, don't you think Jimmy might be hurt even if you guys aren't dating? And Ashley turns right around, so high on her happiness from today and everything going well, says, Terry, one day when a guy likes you, you'll understand how this works.
Yeah.
Just cutting to the bone for Ashley. You're one supporter here through all of this, and you can be so kind of tone deaf with that. She catches it and realizes it pretty quickly, but had she been a bit more understanding, maybe this wouldn't spurn Terry to go maybe in the direction that we see her go in the few scenes, right?
Yeah, and Terry's going to get a little revenge on Ashley here,
Yep. But great, happy scene for Ashley. We've seen her throughout the season, mostly depressed, still kind of fighting with being ostracized by her friends and other people at the school. Now showing up late, not being in favor of Miss Kwan. But she's got a day where everything is going well, and she's got a date or apologize for Sean. Jimmy is friendly with her again. Paige is even nice to let her sit with her. So, wow, I should have done this a long time ago. She's flying high. Things are going to be great year for Ashley Kerwin. Nothing can mess this up. So great to see her in such high spirits now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll see what happens to Ashley at the end of this episode. She's on the highest of highs, like you said, John.
Yeah. Like she's on ecstasy.
Well, we don't want to see her there again. She might call somebody else a hag. Maybe it'll be Miss Kwan this time.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So Toby and Spinner in the bathroom, and they start talking about Kendra. And Spinner points out, "Oh, you know what her last name is, right?" And he goes, "No, what is it? Mason." And Toby's jaw just dropped, like his life just flashed before his eyes as he goes, "Wait, your brother and sister? But that can't be adopted sister, lame brain." And he's like, "And you stay away from her, understand?" And Toby is just like, "Oh man, I guess I understand." So it's do or die for Toby here.
Yep. Oh man, just when he thinks he's found a girl, he is now staring down, possibly having to face what would be a bully, of an older brother. So Toby, caught in a dilemma here. Let's see how he can play this up. But we know Toby, he's kind of chicken. I don't expect him to really rise to the occasion here, and I don't expect JT to encourage him to do so either.
Nope. So then Terry, Ashley, and Paige are in the hallways. Ashley and Paige compliment each other on their outfits. Terry rolls her eyes, and Paige picks up on that. Picks up on that quickly. It's like, wait, whoa, what was that? And Terry's like, oh no, it was nothing. And Paige's like, yeah, that was a whole eye roll, Terry. That was something. And Terry spills the beans that Ashley has a date with Sean. Paige tells her that Jimmy still has feelings for her, and that Ashley just played them all. So she thinks that Ashley played everyone just to get back into her good graces. Paige then tells Jimmy about Ashley's date. Then Toby is complaining about Spinner with JT when they run into Kendra. They talk after lunch when they see Spinner in the distance, and they leave. So a lot is about to unfold here, as Kendra doesn't understand why Toby had to leave so early, and Terry starts the ball rolling here with Paige, Jimmy, and Ashley.
Yep. And JT and Toby don't leave. They sprint away in the other direction, upon seeing Spinner, or as JT calls him, Sasquatch. He says Sasquatch is approaching here. So definitely not rising to the occasion or being brave in this scenario as the two of them run off. The Paige and Ashley interaction, happy to see each other at first. The give and take between them. Paige says, wow, great outfit, sex kitten, or something like that. And Ashley hits her back with, not looking so bad yourself, Michael Chuck. Like, what a mouthful of like names and stuff to have to get through here for these characters. I feel bad. And the writers probably are like, we should have rethought what we named these last names. This is definitely a long one to get out.
Yeah.
But Paige also with sex kitten now is a compliment, along with hag and cow as her insults. An odd vocabulary to say the least. And yeah, like I said, if Ashley hadn't said what she said the night before, would Terry be, so inclined to feed this information to Paige? I don't think so. I think here she is just kind of like, no, it's about, like, cause she could have just said, oh no, I'm upset because, Ashley said something that was kind of hurtful to me. She kind of insulted me yesterday, but instead she says, well, it was when we were talking about her date with Sean, and that, of course, sets Paige's wheels in motion here.
Yep. Jimmy confronts Sean at his locker. Jimmy tells Sean to stay away from Ashley, as Jimmy says, well, we have feelings for each other and we're getting back together. Sean then says he'll ask Ashley that question on Friday night if they're back together. Jimmy and Sean begin to stare down and shove each other when Craig breaks it up. Ashley then tries to talk to Jimmy, but he calls her a slut.
Don't talk to me, you slut. He hits her. Boom, right in front of everybody. There's a good amount of people in this classroom when he hits this loud. Don't talk to me, you slut. And she says, what? And he says, that's what you call people who cheat on their boyfriends, or something like that. And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, we're not going out. And he says, yeah, but we were. So Jimmy immediately took the bait from Paige, and ran with it here, confronting Ashley, hitting her hard, hitting her with that slut word. I mean, Paige's got to learn from Jimmy with these insults, because he's going for the jugular instead of what she's doing with these softballs. And yeah, this is where things are really starting to fall apart for Ashley. What was going so well, now Paige has planted the seed in Jimmy's head and starting to turn that against her. And we'll see how the rest of the friends kind of fall into place here as Ashley navigates the day. School picture day, by the way.
Oh yeah, I know, and that's going to come into effect here as well. Kendra waves at Toby, and Emma calls Toby a chicken and starts like barking at him, basically, like doing chicken noises. Toby says he doesn't want to die. Ashley tries to sit with Paige and Hazel, but Paige denies her. Terry comes over and asks what was Terry comes over and Paige asks who her true friends are. So again, Terry's at crossroads here as she sees Ashley running away in tears, and Paige's like, "Oh, who's your real friend, Terry? You know, I heard Ashley said this about this and that." So Terry again is at crossroads, John.
She says, "Well, how are you going to spend 4 years of high school?" It puts it to her really harsh as this big decision to make right now in the calf, which we tried to boycott last season. But in the calf, you got to make your mind up. She hits it. Do you want to spend 4 years of high school with us, cool with us, or with that awful person over there, alone with her? Jeez. Poor Terry. And Terry, Terry has been kind of playing both sides and been friends with both sides like throughout. We saw her show up at the dance last episode with Ashley, and they got kind of like turned away by Paige just because Terry was with her. Or they got turned away because Terry was with Ashley. That she's like, "Oh, you guys are gonna come in here?" I don't think so. But now welcoming her back. So poor Terry. You feel for her because all she's looking for is some friend groups who will actually like treat her fairly and nicely, and she seems to just kind of get being bounced between these.
Yeah, and Terry has totally forgotten that Paige stole her dance with Spinner in season 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Toby runs into Kendra, and she wants to know where he was at lunch, and he lies to her. Kendra realizes that Toby is afraid of Spinner and calls him a coward. So Toby is just getting dissed by girls all around. First, he gets laughed at by Emma for being a chicken. Now, Kendra, the girl that he likes, calls him a coward.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, you're afraid of my big brother? Come on."
Absolutely, yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, I guess I am. Like, I'm not." He's gonna back down, so it's gonna come down to this. Toby's gonna need to stand up for himself and stand up for wanting to go out with the girl he likes, in the face of Spinner.
Yep. Okay. Yep. And then Ashley is with Sean, and that she tells him that she doesn't want to go out with him. Toby finally stands up to Spinner, and Spinner lets Toby talk to Kendra, and then they go and get ice cream. But Toby knows the consequences if he breaks Kendra's heart.
Yeah, it's a funny scene, nice scene here. As Spinner, of course, hits him with the like, "I'll eat your bowel" or something like that. Like, he'll definitely eat a body part, an organ of Toby's. And once they agree and they're gonna go off, Kendra puts on the serious face and echoes the same sentence. She's like, "Yeah, but if you mess with me, it'll be like me you have to worry about, not my brother."
Don't mess with me.
Yeah, don't mess with me. So. Nice job here by Kendra, and capstone on that story. When Ashley, you failed to mention, when Ashley is breaking the news to Sean, she's obviously doing so in a pretty terrible way. She's like, he's like, "Is it because of Jimmy you're back with him?" And she's looking around, seeing Paige and them, and he realizes, "Oh, it's because you want to be popular, you want to fit in with those people. Whatever, I'm over it." As she slumps to the ground to sit down next to her locker, she is joined by already sitting there Ellie Nash. And we'll see these two form quite a friendship that, that moves on from here. So this is where it all started.
Yeah, and Ellie's like, "Nice going." Really awesome way. Oh yeah. So now Ashley is waiting to have her picture taken when she hears Paige and Hazel talk about her, and they're laughing. Terry walks in, and Ashley starts to smile like, "Oh, Terry, over here." But Terry aligns herself with Paige and Hazel officially. So officially, Ashley has no friends at all. Terry has decided to go hang out with Paige and Hazel and rather hang out with them than Ashley, because I feel like Terry has had enough of Ashley putting her down. So
Yeah.
Ashley is now all alone without her friends, and she takes the picture just crying. And the photo guy's like, "Do you really want me to take this?" And she goes, "Yeah." And she doesn't even wear her like outfit anymore. She wears a Degrassi like sweater, basically sweatshirt.
Yeah, she's got the sweatshirt on. Even Paige comments on her earlier. It's like, oh my God, you'd wear just like a sweatshirt? Like, who would do this? You get the dramatic standoff scene of, Ashley calling to Terry. Where's she going to go? Over to Ashley or over to Paige and the other girls? And she chooses Paige and the other girls. I don't know. They never mentioned, I watched it back trying to see, like, why Ashley had gone to the sweatshirt now. I guess maybe it's just to show she's not feeling so great. I thought maybe something had gotten spilled on her or something, which is why she was wearing the sweatshirt. But no, it's just a character choice that she made. And she's like, I'm this not wearing the sexy outfit she had picked out. Instead, feeling kind of glum. Got the Degrassi Community School sweatshirt to go with instead.
I wanted to say that it was because like that outfit just wasn't her at all. Like she was trying to put on an act, and like it started to just it totally like destroyed and crumbled down on her that this isn't who she is. And she really was trying though to make peace with everybody, but it all fell apart. So she's like, well, this isn't who I am with this outfit. So I'm going to just be me and wear this sweatshirt instead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. That makes sense. Good idea.
And so that's going to bring in the end to the episode. John, who's your MVP for this one?
So I know last time I didn't give it to Emma, even though it was an Emma-centric episode and all the action was around her. Here, the MVP, though, when it is all her story, is Ashley. And Ashley had a full range to go through here of, being down at the beginning, then getting her own victories, taking back her friendships and seeming to have things going her way, and then to finally kind of losing it at the end. I think Ashley, was the most important, character in this episode. Action was all driven around her. And, it was really her story, and she played it up well. She had us caring throughout of what was going to happen to her, and hoping the best for her, only to see her kind of in that crying state at the end. Definitely once again on her side, but feeling bad and wondering, like you said, what's going to happen next for her.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Ashley as well. This was an Ashley essential episode here. Like you said, everything just seemed like it was going up Ashley and that she was going to get into the good graces, but it fell apart. I would have gone also with Terry as an MVP candidate. Here's why. Because she finally puts her foot down and decides, well, Ashley, I'm tired of you treating me like crap, so I'm going to be with Paige and Hazel, who don't treat me like crap.
Right. I think that's definitely that's a great, strong candidate, too. Terry was the one who, starts Ashley's like the second half for her here, and then chooses a side. So great option, great other option. What about LVP though? Who's the least valuable in this?
I'm gonna say it's Marco, because he doesn't come back for this episode.
Marco's on bench in this episode. I don't know. I went Paige. Paige playing the villain as she does so well, but also like unnecessarily here. I think in this case I go to the LVP idea of just like detestable and not that I didn't like the way her character was going. So for that reason, she's my LVP. I guess, like, who doesn't, like, add anything, who even, like, takes from the table? What would you go? I'm always a fan of throwing Toby into LVP votes if you have any for him.
Well, but this one's it's just the reason that, like, he doesn't stand up for himself to the very end. Like, he's just afraid the whole time. But Paige is a good candidate because it's not like Paige is being in, like, a nice way. She's just being downright mean to Ashley. And this isn't like a ha-ha anymore. This is, like, seriousness of Paige being mean. Like, and again, this didn't really need it because there was nothing to like be mad about. Ashley was really trying to get into the good graces, but she just got caught up in it.
Yep. So, you know what? She was doing everything to apologize, to get on everybody's good side again, and, you know, which was a nice gesture, and like somebody asking her out got her in trouble, and that's unfortunate for Ashley. But, you know, Paige turned up the heat on that, and also, like, made it this us against them kind of feeling, and it feels like terrible for her to do that, right? So yeah, Paige takes it home.
Well, that's going to do it from us here tonight on discussing the Next Generation episodes. But John, do you have anything that you want to direct the listeners to?
Currently, I'm not working on any new projects, but you know, I would encourage everybody. It is WrestleMania season to check out what's been going on Place to Be and North South Connection with their WrestleMania coverage. I love the countdown they're doing of ranking every WrestleMania match that happens in like a minute recaps. You'd think it's impossible to do, but you know, JT and them do a really good job with being able to sum up those matches that quickly and give us a placing for them. You know, we're a week and a half, 2 weeks away from the big event, so there's plenty of material to catch up on there. And also, as always, look out for episodes of the 902 No So podcast, which Grooney and I both guest appear on quite frequently. I know they're into season 3 and doing a great job tackling the Brenda, Dylan, Kelly love triangle as that kind of drives the first couple seasons of that show.
Yeah, and they just got to like the episode where Kelly and Dylan tell Brenda what happened over the summer while Brenda was in Paris. So yeah, big episode there.
Tough times.
As for me, you can mostly find me on the Place to Be Nation wrestling feed. I have 2 podcasts over there. One is called Extreme Resurrection, where me and Steve Riddle, we cover ECW on Sci-Fi from 2006 to 2010. We are 2 weeks away from No Way Out 2008, as we are covering February 5th and February 12th episodes of ECW on Sci-Fi, where CM Punk and Chavo Guerrero have a Gulf of Mexico street fight in Corpus Christi.
Fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't Gulf of America back then. Then we have Tommy Dreamer. He's helping Colin Delaney out take on The Miz and John Morrison, and a bunch more stuff going on over in the land of Extreme over there. And I have Nation Invasion, where I, along with a guest, cover the invasion of WWE from 2001 by WCW and ECW Alliance. We are getting ready to live watch and record No Mercy 2001. My last guest was Scott Shiflett. We covered the Raw and SmackDown before No Mercy, as Rob Van Dam gives a 5-star frog splash to both Kurt Angle and Stone Cold, and potentially aligns himself with Vince McMahon going into No Mercy. So you can catch that on Nation Invasion on the Place to Be Nation wrestling feed as well. Well, that's going to do it from us here tonight on Pop Goes Degrassi. He's John Kesselika. I'm James Gruenberg, and we will see you next time.